So if you think about gated communities, when you think about Orange County, this video is going to be for you because I'm going to break down some of the most popular gated communities in all of Orange County. Now, there's a lot of them. So in this list, I'm going to go over 5 that I think are in the top list. Not necessarily saying top 5, but these are definitely in the list. Now, I'm probably going to miss yours, so put it in the comments down below which yours is, especially before you get to this. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Christian Stubbs. I'm a team leader and owner of Onyx Homes, which is a real estate sales team that has helped over 700 people move all over Southern California just since 2020. And we make videos like this to give you as much information as possible so that if you're thinking about making a move, hopefully we can make that a little bit easier. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the video with the first gated community, which I'm going to talk about is Monarch Bay. Now, this is in Dana Point, California. I'm going to go to our website, onyxhomes.com, and I'm going to hit the search button. And I'm going to go type in Dana Point because that's where this is. And actually, I'm going to just type in Monarch Bay. So with Monarch Bay, this is in Dana Point. This is actually in North Dana Point. So this really borders Laguna Beach. Okay, so as we have this pulled up, you can see this straight line here is literally the border of Dana Point to San Clemente. So let me zoom all the way out. Dana Point's down here at the bottom, and you can see that this is in the northmost Dana Point. It is like on the southmost of Laguna Niguel, and then Laguna Beach is right to the north, right? So South Laguna, Three Arch Bay is an icon in Laguna Beach, not the city we're talking about, or the neighborhood rather that we're talking about right now. We're talking about Monarch Bay. So a few unique things with Monarch Bay. One is it has direct beach access with a beach club. This is one of the only, maybe the only in Orange County. I'm not like thinking if there's another one. The Monarch Bay Beach Club is attached to the Monarch Beach Hotel, which is now the Waldorf Astoria. Recently, in the last handful of years, purchased the Monarch Beach Hotel. So you have a Waldorf Astoria right here, and then you have the Ritz-Carlton right here. Now, this beach is Salt Creek Beach, which is one, if not the, it's one of the most popular beaches in Southern Orange County for sure. If honestly, all of Southern California. But then one of the most popular beaches right here, and then just south of that, you have the Strand. So there's this beautiful stretch of beach that goes all the way down to the headlands in Dana Point. And the opposite of the headlands is you have the harbor. So the reason I'm explaining all this is Monarch Bay is unique because you just have these properties that are right up on the cliff that have these just obviously you're on the unreal ocean views, but honestly looking south of the headlands, you have very, very beautiful coastline views, whitewater views as well too. Seeing if I can find a good picture of them. I mean, it's hard to beat that for a master bedroom. Now, obviously, these are very expensive homes. We're talking oceanfront, so you're going to see anything from, let's say, $6 million was going to be what I was going to say. So you can see here's one for $6.5 million, and this is a 4-bed, 4-bath, 2,800 square foot house built in 1962. Now, an interesting fact about this particular neighborhood is that it relatively recently underwent some major changes. These were all leased land, and I think it was at the turn of 2020, if I remember correctly, the leases ran out. So anybody that owned the property for a really long time and couldn't afford the land value now actually had to sell. And so there's a lot of properties that turned hands that might have otherwise not have done that. So you've seen a lot of turnover in this neighborhood where we really didn't before. And we've also seen a lot of very beautiful renovations, like this particular property here underwent a absolutely gorgeous renovation. You can see this build now is 22. And this is 6,200 square foot. I mean, absolutely beautiful home, right? So this is unique. Now you have obviously guard gated, 24-hour guard gated. Right across the street, you have restaurants, shopping. You have everything you'd really need literally right across the street, which is really nice. Direct beach access to the Monarch Beach Club, which for reference, this is a private beach club that you can join through the Waldorf Astoria for something in the ballpark of like 30 grand a year. So it's very exclusive and it's right on a public beach. So anybody can come to the beach down here, but not anybody can go. Only members can go to the Monarch Beach Club. So you're also very close to all the other fun stuff as well too in up and coming Dana Point. And again, another reason I have this on here, and we're spending a lot of time on this one, is the Dana Point Harbor is getting a revitalization, meaning they're completely redoing the entire harbor. As of the time that I'm filming this, they just put in they're just finishing rather the parking structure, and they're redoing the docks right now. So they're putting about $500 million into the harbor, and a lot of development has happened over the last handful of years down in the downtown area. So I think this is an up-and-comer for sure. All right, that is Monarch Bay. I'm going to move to another coastal community, which is Emerald Bay. So let's stick with the bays while we're at it. So Emerald Bay is very unique, very exclusive in Laguna Beach. Now, we just talked about North Dana Point. Now we're going to talk about North Laguna Beach. So the only thing north of Emerald Bay is Irvine Cove. And Irvine Cove is probably the most exclusive neighborhood in all of Orange County. But we are going to talk about Emerald Bay. Now, this is a neighborhood that has a lot of unique aspects to it. It is gated on both sides of PCH. So if we look at Laguna Beach, we're in North Laguna. We're right before we get to Newport and Corona del Mar, Newport Coast. Not a huge subdivision, right? So this is a rather small community, as was Emerald Bay. And this has a private beach, tennis courts, community park, obviously panoramic views of the ocean if you have ocean views. And it is obviously very exclusive, right? So let's go ahead and look at some of the properties, because you will see you have oceanfront properties here that are in the $40-50 million range. I mean, come on, 7,000 square feet with this view. I mean, those sunset views are absolutely spectacular. And you can see here that a lot of these homes, this is a good picture of kind of the neighborhood. Irvine Cove would be here. This is what a lot of both of these neighborhoods are going to look like, to be honest. So 20, 27, 9, I mean, these are very, very high-end properties. They're not all brand new either. I think, if I remember correctly, there was one on here. It was a little bit older that could use some work as well, too. And yeah, this is listed for $22,500, and this was built in 1948. So you're often going to see much older homes in Huntington as well, too. So Emerald Bay is an absolute beautiful neighborhood with some spectacular properties, and honestly, you don't see these come on the market very often. Now, Emerald Bay has a lot of other amazing features to it. I think more so than Monarch Bay. Location gets a little bit of a bump in premium, or a big bump in premium, because you're more central. Laguna is a little bit, especially this portion of Laguna is probably the most convenient portion of Laguna Beach. Probably the biggest complaint overall that you will hear with Laguna Beach is that there's only 3 ways in and out. You have the toll road through the middle, and then you have PCH north and south. So when you're in Emerald Bay, you're really just a minute or two south of living in Crystal Cove, which is another amazing gated community, where you can just jet up here, go up Newport Coast, hit the 73, and you go wherever you want from there. Versus if you're in South Laguna, you're a good minute away from anything. And Three Arch Bay is another really popular gated community in Orange County. So if you're in Three Arch Bay, you're likely going all the way through San Clemente, or you're going to jet across Crown Valley to get where you're going. So anyway, that is one of the major reasons. That is another major reason why Emerald Bay has a little bit of a premium there as well too. Now, let's go on a totally different route. We have talked about 2 incredible coastal, cliff, beautiful gated communities. Let's go in the opposite direction. Let's go over here to Coto de Caza. All right, now this is one of the cities that is the most east in Orange County, certainly for South Orange County. Let me zoom out and show you where we're at. So if we're definitely in South Orange County, obviously here, Irvine being central, let's say. And we are about as east as we're gonna get for South Orange County. Now, Coto is huge. There are 73 listings on the market right now, and this whole entire area is one gated neighborhood. I will say with Coto, then there's 2 major things. One, you really don't need to leave the city for anything. It's got everything in the city. You could live in all different types of homes. Let's look at the most affordable in Coto is $600,000 condos. And then on the high side, you have absolute compounds out there, as you can see, for $13 million. And this is more of an equestrian property, 10,000 square feet for 8.8, right? You have some exquisite properties out here, and you're going to get more of you're going to get more land, generally speaking, with your higher end stuff there as well too. Now, from a convenience standpoint, it's maybe not the most convenient. I'm biased here. For example, I lived in Ladera Ranch for the last handful of years, and currently I live right here. And my commute to the freeway, to the 5 freeway, is about 10 minutes, let's say, to go from here to here. If I was to go to Coto, I would just take this road here all the way throughout, and it would probably take me an additional 10 to 15 minutes to get from, especially if I lived here, let's say. You're either going all the way through Oso or all the way through Alicia. You are just adding an additional 20 minutes to any type of a commute by being in Coto. That's just honestly, unless you're obviously moving from here to here, no difference at all. But if you're moving from Laguna Niguel to Coto, the commute thing is significant, I will say. But it depends. A lot of times people nowadays work from home and don't commute, and that's totally fine. So it really depends on your unique situation. And if you want, you have the 241 toll road right here, which you can jet right up to northern Orange County. You can jump right into the Inland Empire. You could also take it south, which goes right into Rancho Santa Margarita, which then goes down into San Clemente. So it's not like it's too terribly inconvenient, but if you're driving to like Newport a lot, now you're starting to get to a pretty good distance, right? So for example, if I was just to go maps, directions, let me show Newport Beach to Coto de Caza. Yeah, so 35 minutes. So that's about what I would have expected. Versus if you were to say, like, I don't know, let's just say Mission Viejo. Because that's where I live. 24 minutes. Yeah, so 10 extra minutes. It's really not that big of a deal. It's more of, honestly, just living here my whole life. It's more of a feeling. Coto has some unbelievable amenities, though. You have the country club, which is something unique to any of the cities we've talked about so far. There's also 4,000 homes, so it is a massive city. So you have the country club, so it's called the Coto de Caza Golf and Racket Club. You also have equestrian center. There's extensive biking and hiking trails, and there's just a lot of stuff. So that's definitely something that I'd highly recommend checking out. Now, if you like Coto de Caza and you are saying, okay, Christian, I've got more than $15 million to throw around, what else you got? Well, this goes to probably my favorite neighborhood in all of Orange County that's not coastal, and this is Shady Canyon. This is an absolute beautiful city community, but it's not a city, I suppose, community in Irvine. Why it's my favorite? It's got everything I pretty much just said about Coto, except everything's just way more elevated. So whereas Coto, the most expensive property in the market we just saw was like 12, I think, if I remember correctly. Now we're at $40 million. So there is a monster bump up here in prices. And with understood reasons, right? You have the Shady Canyon Golf Club, private. From a location standpoint, you don't get more convenient. You are literally just south of Irvine. You're right, I guess, southeast of Newport Beach. You're just north and east of Laguna Beach. I mean, you just don't get in a better location than where Shady Canyon is. Now, on top of that, one of the biggest gripes people do have about Irvine, especially if you're looking in the higher price points, is everything's right on top of each other and there's no space and it all looks cookie cutter, and Shady Canyon gets rid of all of that. Obviously being more expensive, but it just doesn't have that look. It doesn't have that feel. As you can see, just looking at the map here is what Irvine looks like, and you can see lots of gray, meaning lots of just concrete, I guess. And Shady Canyon is like, it's a canyon, right? It's very green, it's very open, and it is absolutely beautiful. As far as some of the amenities that it has with it, obviously the rolling hills that we just talked about, some of the most amazing luxury properties are in here as well too. I mean, let's go ahead and take a look at this one that's for sale. Almost 18,000 square foot, 5 bed, 10 bath on 1.1 acre. These are like Tuscan villas. A lot of these are, not all of them, but most of them have that kind of feel. I mean, this is like literally like a castle. Very, very exquisite properties. And then you do have some in the more, I'll say like normal-ish price point. For $8 or $9 million or so, you can get a 7,000 square foot house. So still very exquisite property, but this is all high. I mean, Shady Canyon's just high end. The surrounding areas are also very nice as well too, but not all of them are gated, right? So Shady Canyon being the gated neighborhood, very exquisite, very safe, absolutely fantastic amenities as well too. Now, last but not least, let's go back to the coast and blend together what we talked about with the two cities that we talked about on the bay, blending together a lot of the benefits of Monarch Bay and Emerald Bay, and a lot of the benefits we just talked about Shady Canyon and Coto de Caza. This is kind of more in that middle range. Now, if you're liking this video so far, one, because of the beautiful homes, or two, because you actually want help with your unique situation, absolutely the best way to do it is to go down in the description or head to allaboutoc.com and connect with one of our local agents. There's so much context it is hard to talk about these really high-end neighborhoods because it just really depends on what you're looking for. But if you want to talk about you and your unique situation, honestly, just head over to allaboutoc.com, drop your information or give us a call. We'd be happy to help you out. All right, let's get back into the video. Now, this is where we're going to be talking about Pelican Crest. So this is very similar, I would say, to your Crystal Cove, but it isn't. So Pelican Crest, let's get this typed in here, is in Newport Coast, which is in South Newport Beach, right before you would get to, like, let's say Corona del Mar. So what I would say is unique with this is that you have the resort. Now, Crystal Cove is right over here, and these two are comparable for sure. But if you are looking for ultra exclusive, gate guarded, very beautiful neighborhoods, that's what we're looking at right here. You're going to get monster sized houses. You're going to get monster ocean views from most of these properties. They're going to be newer construction, and the homes themselves have all the amenities you could ever really want. So the neighborhood amenities don't matter so much, other than you're right there for Pelican. So you can, if you're a golfer, you've got the golf courses there, you've got all kinds of stuff. And from a location standpoint, all of the same benefits we just talked about with Shady Canyon, because it's frankly, it's just very close. You could maybe argue Shady Canyon is either more convenient or less convenient, depending on how much you want to be like the downtown area with a harbor for Newport Beach. Now, some of the properties, as you're going to see, are going to have some of the most expensive properties in the entire state. We're up to 60, 40 plus on a lot of these homes. Crystal Cove, which I'm sure we'll talk about in another video, is going to have slightly more expensive properties. But I mean, these are, there's really, you don't have to, there's not a lot more to say when you see these 18,000 square foot, $60 million homes. They're just absolutely exquisite. And you have all kinds of different real estate here as well too. These are going to be built generally in like very new construction in the last 10 years or so, let's say, for almost all of them. And you're going to get a lot of different styles as well too. You're going to get some that are full ocean views. You're going to get some that have no ocean views. And at this price point, you have everything to choose from. So again, if you want to talk about your unique situation, I highly recommend going to allaboutoc.com, drop your information or give us a call. We'd be happy to help you out. Now, if you like this video and you want to go more broad for all of Orange County, this next video I made, which is the pros and cons of Orange County, would definitely be the next one I would watch out for. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in that next one.